to understand men's brains and how to get to his heart fast. Apart from the sex, as we know, apart from the food, what other ways are there?
I feel they need to be needed, men.
For example?
Just, oh, my tyre's flat, or can you do some DIY around my house, as simple as that.
Do you know if you got us to do something for you, to you it may, for example, he may come round and you could say, oh, I'm having problems changing the light bulb in the bathroom, right? Even though you can do it, all the strong, powerful, independent ones that I can do it, I don't need no man, and all this kind of stuff. Just this one occasion, if you said, you want to know how to get to his heart, and you said to him, can you change that? And he does it successfully, and you say, oh, thank you so much, I've been meaning to do that, just to lift him up a bit. Do you have any idea how that makes us feel? He's shaking his head, look. How does that make you feel?
Amazing. So true.
And does it make you, apart from the food and the sex, does it make your heart drawn to her more?
Makes you worry. Makes you want more.
Now can you understand why those powerful, successful, independent women that want to do it all, no matter how much money they've got in the bank, no matter how fabulous they look, they're struggling to find that right man? Does that make sense? Because in her world, she's not letting us come in there to feel needy like a man. Some women get it, and some women don't. There are friends of yours that you most be thinking, how the hell did she get him? Why is she married and I'm not? I'm more successful than her, more attractive than her, all those associations. Some of them get it. Because their focus is, I want to be a wife, I want to have a serious relationship. Who do I need to be to attract that type of man? It's not about yourself. You need to think about, if you understand what man's needs are, and you give that to him. For example, Nova, you're pregnant, okay? If you, anything he does for you to help you with the baby, and you make a big, because I know you're independent and stuff, but if you made him feel absolutely out of this world, he'll worship you. Seriously, it's such a big thing, because that's how we feel. We feel needed. Once we feel needed, we can look after you. That's the way to our heart. Try it and see. What are men's number one complaint about women? Who knows that? Talk too much? Anyone else?
Drama.
Drama? Anything else? Just two? Come on, you all know, come on.
Fast.
Don't listen. Who said don't listen? Don't listen. Anyone else?
Nagging.
Nagging.
Too independent.
She wants to change. Who honestly met a guy and they really want to change him into the man that she wanted? Hands up those who've done that. Honestly. Kind of. That means blatantly yes, doesn't it? Alright, so you've met him and you want to mould him into little plasticine, how you want him to be and how you want him to be. But remember, you're not how 100%, as Genevieve said, how he wants to be. You want to be as well. You're never going to find perfection unless it's myself. Joking. But you're never going to find perfection. And that's what the expectations, what Genevieve was saying earlier. All those expectations are all the fluffy stuff. What's the core stuff? What are the values and the beliefs? What's most important? You know, one of my clients the other day, she went out on she told me the kind of man that she wants on a date. She's 37, I think, and she says he needs to be between 35 and 41. So you got to think with numbers? So what do you mean? So if you met him when he's 34, or he's 42, 43, or anything, she goes, no. And she's still single, and she's fussy, and she went out on a date the other day, and all those buttons were ticked, but he was, I think, 43. She didn't have any children, she wanted a man with no children, he doesn't have any children. She met up with him, he texted me back and he said, yeah, everything went great, it was fine, I want to see her again. He's blatantly told her, but he's a bit shy, he'd take her number. So she said to me, I said, how did it go? She goes, yeah, it was alright. You know, you can tell. So I said, okay. I said, well, what was the problem? She said, well, she said, well, I don't know, just the chemistry wasn't there. Now, there's some women that want to meet a man just to, bang, that ignite, that spark. And I'll be honest with you, I think when you start to get 30, 35 onwards, your expectations are going to change when you was in your 20s. In your 20s, they can come and go. But as you're getting older, you need to compromise and look at the whole picture. You might be 5'10", but he may be 5'8", but everything else is ticked. He adores your child, he wants to marry you, but you're waiting for the 6'3" guy because you want someone that's taller than you, because when you go out, you don't look weird. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So she's then saying to me, well, she's not really feeling him. So I said to her, but he wants your number, she didn't want to give me his number. So that's a potential good. He's showed an interest in him. Now, I knew when I was coaching her, I knew that she wouldn't be very easy, but I didn't think it would be as, she didn't want to meet him a second time. So, the next day rolls on, I suppose. But I guarantee you, she doesn't change the way she's thinking. She's going to go into her early 40s, 30s, and she's going to either end up picking up someone that's not on her level just to have a child, or she's going to be on alone for a very while, or picking up the wrong men and blaming them. So what's your number one complaint then, ladies? What do you reckon? Women's number one complaint about men?
There aren't enough of them.
Anyone else? You're like a lion! Anyone else?
They're all gay.
They're all gay. Anyone else?
They never listen. Yeah.
They never listen. Anyone else? Liars. Who agrees with the liars? He never listens to me. How many of you found that a lot of men don't just listen? Do you know sometimes when you're talking and talking and talking and talking, we do switch off.
Yeah.
Our brain can't take any more. Only can take a certain amount. For example, if this was a men's group, when I say sit down, they sit down. If I say a minute, they say a minute. As you know, it's like a classroom. I've got to keep sit down, because you want to still talk. There's 4 women over there. When we're just about to start, they wait until just before I'm starting my presentation. They're exchanging phone numbers. Exchanging phone numbers. Oh, we're going to network and connect, and you've had from 9 o'clock this morning till 1:30, and they're doing it now.
We didn't see each other at lunchtime.
So what did you do in the break?
I was somewhere
Looking at the
else.
floor? Alright, but can you see how we're different? Right? So, he never listens to me. Right. So your brains are wired differently. Do you understand that? It's wired completely differently. I mean, I could do a whole day on this and how this works. When men are stressed, how do we react? What do we do?
Watch TV.
Beer, going to a cave. Who understands about the cave?
Are you going next time, okay?
Yes, I am. I'm just drinking my water. Can I, please?
Yes,
Thank you. I know. Where was I? Because my short memory's back. When we're stressed, yeah. Right. When we're stressed, our brain is telling us, our brain is going like that 15 million times when we're stressed, and we need to solve the problem. And the only way we can solve the problem is by taking time out from the whole situation, away from everyone, and then we're taking our time out. Now, in your relationship sense, when that's happening, what you want to do is the opposite of that. What do you want to do? Talk, which is the opposite of what we want. How many of you had a relationship where you want to talk to him about the situation, but you're not getting anything back from him? He's disappeared or he's gone, and then you're stacking up. Is it another woman? Does he not love me? What's he going on? I feel rejected, and that's supposed to be all linked with your stuff from earlier. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's not about him. But when we are stressed, we need that time. So when we take that time out, we work it out. Oh yeah, God, yeah. That's what it is. And then we come back into your life, is everything's fine.
Yeah.
By then, you're livid. Because you know he's going to come back. So when he comes back, you're literally going to kill him. That's when he wants to talk. But you wanted to talk days ago. But he needed that time just to, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when he's like that, there's no point in, he will come back to you like a rubber band. He will come back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We need time. But you need to talk to resolve the problem. And what's this got to do with the next 12 weeks? Well, you're going to meet a man in these 12 weeks, and is it to your advantage to understand this? To know this? Whether it's this 12 weeks or going into the new year. Okay? We need time to reflect as we need to figure out how to solve the problem. We are problem solvers. That's why when you come to us with a situation, we are always providing solutions. Have you noticed that? You say to us, oh, look, I've got this problem, but all you want to do is talk to us about it. You don't want us to tell you what to do. But we always tell you this is what you need to do. Because when we ring up one of our mates, we're not ringing him up to talk. We're ringing him to talk to solve how we can solve this problem. Because we haven't got time to talk for hours about nothing. Because we don't. Our brain's not wired like that. Does that make sense? Yeah? We must feel needed because we want to be able to protect you and look after you and the family, even if you don't have a family. We want to be able to protect you. When a man feels that he can protect you, look after you, how many of you have been in a situation where you're with a man and a situation arises and you feel protected? For example, Jen, when we was sorting a problem with the hotel, and then you was a bit of a flap, and then when I came here, it was all sorted. She just laughed because she was stressed. Well, I came and I sorted it all out, and I know she felt protected, not in that relationship setting.
Positive energy you were losing.
Sorry?
It's all that positive energy you were losing.
I know. Thank you.
Back me up.
But I noticed Jen didn't answer that, but it's all right. But yeah, but in a relationship sense, we want to look after you. We want to be known as the man in the relationship. And that's why when some women are in relationships and they want to do it all, we can't get in. We can't.
It takes too long.
It takes too long.
It does. When we want things done, we want it done straight away. It takes too long.
For example,
So if I give something to someone, by the time I've explained it, and I've done it myself.
for example, that's my point.
The light bulb.
The light
I
bulb.
want the light bulb changed now, and not in 5 minutes or 10 minutes or
Okay,
in half an hour.
but that's in your world.
Yeah.
He could be, supposing the reason why he hasn't done it, that he's so focused on preparing something for you as a surprise. Or he's focusing on you and your family or something like that.
But what if he's just watching the TV and then he'll do it later and then later?
Yeah, but no, let's focus on what I just said. See, now you're bringing... You see what she's doing? Associations, that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about. But then we all do it. Yeah, but he could be watching TV, he could be not.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
And the meaning you're giving it is negative, and then it piles up. And then she says, oh, he doesn't care, and then he's, oh, I've got to do it myself, and the light bulb's gone, and he left the toilet seat up, and blah, 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 and it all stacks up.
Yeah, but sometimes you can see them sitting there watching TV. I have no light, I'm trying to wash my hair, there's no lights in the bathroom.
I mean, that's just an example. I mean, you can't go in the bathroom in the dark because you'll break your neck.
What happens is that is a realistic thing.
Okay, but there's ways of communicate. I know you're frustrated because the way, I can imagine the way you end up telling him, which is not a loving and warm way. But if it's not the light bulb, there'll be other situations that you can think of. But if you just allow him we do take our time because you want things done. But there's things that you guys do that we complain about as well. So, sorry? Loads of things. Loads of things. For example, like we were saying, we said earlier about you want to change us, accept us for the way we are. We like football. We watch football in the week. Don't come around and bother us when you know the football's on. Because we like our football. Okay? When the game's on, don't walk past the TV at that point when the guy's going to score. Shall I carry on? I've got a whole day. I've got this stuff. Okay? When we want to when we want to take time out, we want to go out with our boys, we don't need 15 million questions, we're just going out with our boys. We don't need to tell you about our friend's business with his wife and they're going through problems because we don't care about that. Does that make sense? We're different. Two-way thing.
Do you know? At a family dinner, my cousin told me about some gossip about her boyfriend's friend's relationship, and I was like, Ryan, what, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I don't know. I was like, what do you mean you don't know? She's like, tell him, Donna. And I was like, how did you not ask? And I was dismayed that he never asked his friend.
We don't
more
care. Because we're not interested in that stuff. If he's talking about more positive, productive stuff that we want to know, like sport, like football, like those types of things, we're different. We haven't got time to sit here and talk about, you know, oh, he had his girlfriend had a baby, you know, how much did the baby weigh? We don't know.
The one thing that I would say that we hear a lot of frustration with women when we do a lot of coaching is women love detail. Okay, girls, how much want the detail? When we talk to our friends, we get all the nitty gritty, we get it all down to the minimum. I think to the T. I mean, I've been with my husband 26 years. I've had to accept there's no detail. No matter how much I say, well, what did they say about this and what was that? And you know, and we worked together as well. And the lack of detail drove me mad until I learned to accept it. And it was only when I learned to accept that's what men are like. Men do not do detail. It doesn't matter how much you try and do any of that, it's just not going to happen. So it's something you just need to accept and use our girlfriends for.
That's right. How many of you, honestly, have studied this stuff? How men and women's brains are different? Really? How many of you, honestly? Just two?
Go see Men from Mars, Women are from Venus.
See? And there's another one.
Yeah.
And then we need to profess as well. We want to provide actually financially and emotionally as well. So I know there's some women that may earn more than the men, but when we feel that we can provide for you financially and emotionally, that's another way to our heart. And profess to be proud of you. We want to be able to profess our love for you and be confident that you have our back as well. It's so important that, you know, as a man, as a woman, that no matter what, she has his back. No matter what happens. This is the way to our heart. Excluding the sex, excluding the food. So we get those on top, that's a double whammy, triple whammy. Some women get it and some don't. We must be able to feel like a man. With your help, we need your help for that, believe it or not. So, that week, there's a slide there which may be the other way, but there's a book which I'm going to come back to. I want you to get, which I'm going to come back to. There's a book to help you with that as well.